Hey guys, are you looking for an epic machine? I have one for you here from JCONLY. This is a very nice machine. It's over $600 and it's adjustable stroke. I can't wait to try it for you though right here on the Floaty channel. Don't forget I have 10% off for you in the description below. Please like and subscribe. Let's look at the epic. Very nice packaging for this epic machine. Boom, and we got the red one. It looks awesome. It's got the gold in the middle. Let's pull it out. Comes with 2 batteries and an RCA connection. Yeah. In the bottom, some accessories. They gave us a cable for our RCA connection, which is very nice. And I'm sure this is a charger for the battery. Okay. All right, let's take a look at the actual machine here. The red is gorgeous. The red is metallic, but it also has like a matte finish. So the middle part here is in gold, and you can see the stroke lengths right there. So let's take a look at those. Here's 2.4, 2.7, 3, 3.3, 3.6, 3.9, and 4.2. So you have all the stroke lengths you could need. The twist style here is a nice smooth twist with little clicks at each stroke length so you know where you are. Let's take a look at the battery. Nice color display. Very nice display. Super nice display. So there's the starting at 8 volt and going down in 0.1 increments, which I really love. We have our battery display at the top there, and then it looks like a hertz display and a runtime display. Very cool. It's a nice big display so you can read it easily. Let's check the manual, make sure we're not missing anything. 7 strokes, colorful LED screen, 360-degree positioning of the battery. That's great. The weight is 267 grams, which is a pretty good size, and that is with the battery. Without the battery, it's about 224 grams. So we know the battery is nice and light, and the grip size is 34 millimeters. So I hope that's helpful for you guys in understanding kind of the size of this machine. In order to access the hertz, you want to hold the central and up buttons for both 3 to 5 seconds, and then you can choose the hertz number. So that's how to kind of go back and forth there between the voltage ranges and the hertz. Working time is about 5 to 7 hours, and it says if the battery is less than 5%, please charge it. Sounds good. All right, so let's see if this thing performs like a $600 machine. I'm really excited to test it out on some silicone. All right, look at this thing. It is epic. We are going to bag this thing and add a floaty grip. All right, first things first, we're going to remove the grip. All right, you have your machine bag. Just insert the machine. Pulling that over just a little more. Okay, I'm at the edge now, and I'm just going to tape down these two sides here. Okay, and we want the bag to be out of the way from the buttons and the screen. Replace the grip. And we're going to put on the floaty grip. We got a red floaty grip to match the machine. I'm just going to put the F side down. That went on really, really well. All right, so that's the machine there. See, it's about the size of my hand, just a little smaller than my hand actually. Okay, I have a 3-round liner on the machine. Needle depth is super easy to turn. I'm very happy with that. And I'm changing my stroke lengths as well, even with the plastic on, and it seems to be no problem. We have, for stroke lengths, we have 2.4, 2.7, 3.0, 3.3, 3.6, 3.9, and 4.2. So we have a lot of stroke lengths on this machine. We are a 3-round liner. We could be using that anywhere between a 3.3 to a 3.6. Unless you want really, really soft hit, you would go under that. But it is a standard needle, so we'd want a little more punch somewhere in between there. Let's start with the 3.3 just to make a side-by-side comparison. So there, I just changed it, no problem. And my cartridge just happens to match today. Okay, so 3.3 and 7.6 volts at the moment. Let's see how that feels. Seems like it's getting in really well, but let's double check. Like when I change the needle depth, it doesn't change the stroke length. It's very separate, so that is a nice system, so you don't have to like go back and forth too much. So these are beautiful lines at 3.3. I'm going to try some here a little higher now at 3.7, which is the next stop up in stroke length. Probably don't need to go up. So that's at 7.8 volts, just a touch higher, and yeah, it's getting in much better there. So getting in really, really well. Very impressed. Just playing around. Playing around between 3.7 and 3.3 for the stroke. Okay, so we finished with 2 different stroke lengths here at 3.3 and 3.7. I was really happy actually with the 3.3, so I was able to come down in stroke length, and I was at voltage 8, a little bit higher for this silicone, and I got beautiful clean lines with the 3-round liner. I'm super happy with the performance of the 3-round liner with this machine. In comparison to some of the other machines I have seen, this is the darkest I've seen it penetrate on the silicone here that I'm using today, the True Skin. So the True Skin's a little harder to penetrate. So usually I give a little bit of wiggle room with these machines, but this one is very obviously saturating, and so I should mention that. It's very obviously darker. So I think it's got a strong motor, and that would make sense for the price, which is a good thing. Sometimes those don't always align, so you definitely want to watch your reviews. All right, let's play around here. We're gonna whip shade. All right, I'm gonna start at 6.8 volts, and we're going to begin the whip shade at 3.6. Okay, now I'm at 3.9. All right, and 4.2. It feels a little draggy. Should probably turn up my voltage for that one. And as I thought, the Epoch is performing wonderfully with the stipple shading. Not just wonderful, excellent. The stipple shade is very obvious and very dark, much darker than I usually see on the True Skin. So it's penetrating very well, even when I'm tinkering with the stroke lengths. I went from 3.6 up from there, but I might even be able to go below that on this silicone, because, or just with this machine, because it's actually getting in at 3.6. So 3.3 could even work. I should probably just try it instead of talking about it. Let me do it. Feels really good there at 3.3. Is it penetrating? Yes. Okay, let me just bring it a little closer to the camera. There it is. So this is the 3.3 stroke length. Then up here it's the 3.6, and then it just goes up from there. You can see really nice evenly spaced dots on all of these. There is a subtle difference between them. I like the way this one looks here, and honestly I like this one. Opposite sides of the spectrum. I like both. So you would be able to play around for sure. The problem is when you change stroke lengths and the penetration is now not getting in. You can't play with stroke lengths if you can't really see the effect, I guess, of the dots on the surface as much. It's good to get that visual feedback without having to also increase the voltage too high. We also want to look at some larger needles now. Let's take a look at a 9-round liner. This motor seems pretty strong, so I am going to start lining at 8.5 volts, and I'm actually going to line at a 3.6 millimeter stroke first. That feels really good. It's looking like it's getting in. Let's try turning up the stroke to see what we can get from 3.9. I gotta try out the 4.2. right, they're all getting in. My favorite is the 3.9. I'm going to play with my voltage at 3.9 again over here, now at 9 volts. Yeah, that looks really nice and saturated. I'm super impressed with the Epoch. It is indeed epic. 9 volts, 3.9 was my favorite on the TrueSkin. Don't take my word for it, buy one yourself. Remember, there is that 10% off in the description below. But let's keep taking a look. Okay, we should try a 9-round shader. Yeah, so that's really getting in there nicely. You can see some dark saturation, especially when I slowed my hand at the end there. Wow. Yeah, that's getting in really nicely. So obviously this Epoch is going to be excellent for large round liners and shaders doing big thick lines. All right, so I'm gonna put this 13 curve mag on the machine. There it is. That'll be our next needle. We're gonna try shading now. Let's go soft. Let's go down to a 3.3. Okay, that's 7 volts there. Smooth. I think I could come down just a little bit even in voltage. Okay, yeah, very smooth, very nice patterning. I'm at 3.3 for the stroke length, and I'm at 6.8, and I'm still getting into the silicone, no problem. You can see a really nice, consistent pattern of the mag there. So very, very, very pretty. I'd love to see what it's like with a little more punch too. Great, so even at 3.3, I can turn up my voltage a little bit and I can do a little bit of edging. I see good saturation, and I feel like I want to play with a bigger mag now. I'm getting bored of this 13, so let's try something bigger, a 17 curve mag. All right, let's try some soft shading first. I have it at 3.3 for stroke length at 7 volts. So quiet too. That looks beautiful at 3.3, very smooth, just like the 13. Let's go up to 3.6. I definitely feel the difference in the hit. So there is a good change between the two that you can see, and I do see the effect of it as well. You can see it start to skip the surface a little bit. So on this machine, for me, my optimal stroke length for shading with the black and gray is 3. So that is beautiful. On the silicone, I just ended up at 7 volts. You can play around with that, but I'm getting really nice smooth shading. There you go, a little bit darker shading and very, very nice and smooth. Just stayed in the same direction and it's still looks very good. You can do a little cross hatching, make it even smoother, but obviously the mags are going to work beautifully with this machine. It's not just a liner, it's going to be a soft shader as well. So it is worth the money as an all-around machine. Let's have some fun. I'm going to do some edging and just play around with this mag just to look at the patterning of this machine. I'm at 3.9 at 8 volts. Lovely, it's all getting in so well. I'm very happy with this. So I'm seeing very good patterning, very good penetration. I'm able to do some pretty fun things with the mag here in both directions, both driving the needles in and making darker marks and making softer marks. All right, that completes our demonstration of the Epic machine from JCONLY. Thank you guys so much for sending us this. We are really, really above and beyond happy to have it. It is a very nice machine and I highly recommend it to people who especially just want to get that one machine that they can rely on. They don't want to switch around to a bunch of different machines. They want something that has the heavy hit lining, has a good heavy grip on it, and is easy to use. It's actually very easy to use. So if you're looking to get this epic all-around tattoo machine today, don't forget to use the link in the description below to get your 10% off. It's around $600 and it's well worth the money. Thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Take it easy.
Thank you. Bye.